Hello, everyone. How are you all? I hope that everyone is great. Great. So, I actually got on here just because I was thinking earlier about life and how my minds has taken such a dramatic turn this year. And it could have been some things just happening, like just, smaller things happening over a longer time period, I guess. And then, yeah, so, anywho, whatever else I went through, I'm, I'm just like, yeah. But what I can try to wrap my mind around is what I can wrap my mind around. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't really have to say nothing much. I got enough videos out here at this point to be like, hey, it is what it is. Like, I am who I am, and I know what I know, and I don't know what I don't know, and it's just, I don't know. I don't know. But anywho, I actually was thinking about my online love connection that I had, that I know I have mentioned in other videos at some capacity or another, that lasted for shit, definitely over 10 years, probably, cuz I think we met online in 2010 and it's 2024. So, but just thinking about that entire, like, I don't know, I think it was just, well, I'll just like I'll just like go with the flow of my thoughts at that moment. Um, so my thought was love. Like it came through as a question. Like it was like I got a question through one of my spirit guides, or a question was put through me. Like, how could you stay on an online connection for so long and, um, not physically connect? Like, how is that acceptable? And essentially, my response is that I did. Like, I don't know if it's that difficult. For me, it was another relationship, right? Like, I think for me personally, everything that comes on the outside that's attached, that we attach to relationships, and feeling secure in those relationships, and as far as like the physical stuff, it's great and everything, and also it may um it may confuse some things sometimes, right? Like, you may get more attached to what the person themselves is offering you instead of who the person is and what they're offering you from, mm, their soul, their spirit, their mind, like their person, and then what's attached to them in the physical. Like, okay, so this, the best example I can give is like dating. Like, everyone like loves to date. We all love a great date, right? I haven't been on many as far as like outside of like friendship, because for me dating is dating. Like, it's when two or more people come together and we go out and we choose to intentionally come together, intentionally spend time together and exchange energy and whatever, right? And then from that, it can go into, you can break down dating into multiple components and facets. Like for me, I go on dates with my friend. Like if I'm out with my friend, technically we could be on a date. You know, we get dressed up. Like it's intentional. Like, and maybe they'll know where we're going and I won't, or we'll know. And so for me, it's not specific to like intimate. Like I'm just going on a date with you because I'm interested in acquiring anything from you other than this time and energy that we're about to share, right? Um and that's how I kind of, so like I haven't had many dating experiences outside of like friendships and um like whatever, like when it comes to intimate dynamics, haven't had a lot of dating experiences. I mean, I had a few when I was younger, like, but I've also had like maybe in my early 20s maybe, and then but there was also a lot of times where like I just wasn't dealing with men on an intimate level in the physical realm and space either. So like a lot of times. And if I was exchanging, even if we're exchanging energy, like now we have this non-physical part that we're concentrating on, right? And then we're missing the physical part. And sometimes that's okay with me. I enjoy conversing and connecting and like the way men be acting and shit, like, and people, like the way stuff be feeling, like everybody think that because they in your space they supposed to get, like it's supposed to be a physical or sexual exchange, or sometimes like it feels like people have their own agendas and just all this kind of stuff that like I don't really have to deal with for real. Like, yes, it would be amazing when I want to be held at night that I can be held, right? Like, oh my gosh, that I can just lay in your arms and watch TV, or we can discuss a book, or we can travel. Like, that physical companionship is definitely desired and wanted, and in so many ways needed. I'm not knocking that. I am I am I am God and I am being. Like I am having a human experience. Like I like intimacy just like anybody else. I also have experienced a lot in life and I've witnessed a lot of life, and understanding that when you start bonding through that intimacy, that creates a whole lot of other stuff that can become bigger stuff, that can become gigantic stuff, and snowball into a whole lot of unnecessary shit, well, unnecessary stuff that it doesn't benefit anybody in the long term for real, and it creates more havoc and more pain and more stuff than it needs to. So for me, it just kind of, even though it's like automatic, like I don't necessarily always think of it, it's just, hey, I don't really want to do that until let's figure this part out. Like, it's okay, and going with that, because something that I felt like I noticed when I was really young, like younger, was that it felt like a lot of people um kind of stumbled or got trapped into relationships or a dynamic that they really didn't necessarily want to be a part of, but like one thing led to another and led to another, and then next thing I know, like this man got his clothes and stuff at my house, or you this one. Like, it was just always like, it, not always, often, too often, it was just like from my environment and just, different things. It was like kind of like, okay, we was having fun, we was doing the thing, and we was attached, and then I looked up and like he was living with me, or I looked up and I was in a relationship, or now I got a baby, or like, so essentially now you feel like now you have to follow this path, and now you have to I mean, and it doesn't necessarily have to be, I don't want to really say bad or good because I don't really use those words that often. It doesn't have to be, I guess, negative. And also, if this is what I'm picking up on, like, it must be a struggle, right? And understanding that I come from a very violent and very traumatic background. And that could also be a reason why I see like see things or hear things differently. Like, I'm like, this is the way that I was interpreting information and things passed down or passed through me from my environment. Like, the way you're speaking about this and the way your energy feels, this feels like something that you not even sure that you wanted to happen or that you really want to be in, and now somehow, like, because your emotions are all tied into it, like, you hear. And then I'm a woman, like, I'm a woman, you're here. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I've been pregnant, I've lost a baby, I've loved some men, and I've been brokenhearted enough. And especially like as a teenager and a younger adult, and just coming into my adulthood and things like that, like, shit, I was taking hits just like everybody else. I also was like, I heard, oh, okay, like, I'm not willing, I don't really want to take care of a man. I don't really want you in my house not contributing in a way that I think is like beneficial. So I'm gonna skip right past that. And like, I've had a whole lot of sex. I mean, it's cool. I don't really see like why I need to be attached to you to make it happen. I understand that it would be a lot better if there's an emotional attachment, and I understand that like I'm creating my not being emotionally attached to you is creating a wall and a space for me to not have a very satisfying sexual experience. But then I'm like, is it? Because I've had multiple women and men talk about how awesome sex can be when and they're not like emotionally attached to them. Let people like let them tell it, right? Like, some of the stories I've heard is of some people having one night stands that had the best sex of their life and whatever. So it's like, yes, sex can be sacred, and sex is sacred, and encompassing in that, there it can also be a lot of other things, like what's sacred to you, and what does that look like, and why. Because let's not forget that we live in a trigger warning for right here for a couple seconds, but like, let's not forget that we live in a society that's very, very sexual, and there's a lot of violence against women and children and men, sexual violence. So that's traumatic, you know. I'm trying to remember when I did the trigger warning, so I'll say like 14. I'll put it in the description, like 1407. So then that is going to affect your experience as well. Um, and then adding just more things, because we're also living in a society that not only you have a lot of sexual trauma, you also have a lot of repressed trauma, and just a lot of repression where because we live in a society where it can be very traumatic for people, especially men, to be comfortable being different sexually, if that means they love other men, if that means whatever, as well as women. Women loving other women is usually more acceptable, but like when women start becoming free with their sexuality and choosing what they want to do and how they want to do and start, moving a certain way, there's a lot of judgment that comes with that as well, especially depending on what your culture is and where it stems from, where you stem from, and like all of these other things that happens. And I just have a saying that goes pretty much that, like, if you're being authentically yourself, like truly yourself, and the people aren't accepting you, you just haven't found your tribe yet. Like, from traveling and just reading, and if you watch TV, like, there's a tribe for you. People can be free. Unfortunately, oftentimes we don't have the often have the access to go and like search for our tribes on the wider scale, like a wider net. And that makes me sad, because everybody should be able to be freely be themselves. And there are so many people who don't have the, I don't know if I want to say bravery and support and confidence and privilege to embrace who the hell they are and be them. So they can't even find their tribe, even if they're in the same neighborhood or the same community, because everyone won't be bold enough to go against their family or their whoever to just be like, this is who I am, because that comes with a whole nother level of trauma and, ostracization and hanging. Like, it comes with a whole other thing when you choose to accept who you are and be the unique being that you are, and the more different you are from your environment, the more you have to fight. But to you, that, like, I don't know, for me it didn't always seem like a fight on the conscious level, even if it was a fight. Like, I did a lot of, and trigger warning, that was forever ago. My bad. I did a lot of fighting when I was young, like way too much fighting, for all the things that I shouldn't have had to fight for. But I'm not here for that today. In this moment, I'm speaking of connections, like heart and soul connections, intimate connections, and how I stayed on this line. So going back, I picked up a lot of things from my relationship dynamics. I learned, like, you get to break my heart once. Ooh, like, I mean, it might be a whole lot of hits and shit then, but like, once you, that last whatever it is, for me, it be like, oh, okay. And then when I walk away for real. Like, and there's been men that I've been like still so freaking connected to, like, all right, you doing all this, you say you don't want me, like, all this, whatever is happening, you say you want me, and you over here doing this, or you coming in here, like, by the time you make your presence known to me, what the fuck are you gonna do with my time and attention and energy? Like, why did you fight so hard? Why did you make it a point to come to me? Okay, let's just see what it is. So you just wanted to make me smile today. Thank you. Like, I appreciate a good smile. Thank you. Hey, let's smile. Like, it's up to me to decide. Like, it's whatever they're here for. That's like my thing. Like, I can't control or dictate who you are, your intentions. Like, I don't never really dig that deep, because that's way more energy than I really have to put on anything. Like, put towards stuff. Like, I don't want to use my energy for that. So by the time, I just have to trust that by the time you reach here, that I've put out enough prayers and askings and communicated with my spiritual team enough to where there was enough walls and blockages and shit. So especially at this point, and back when I was younger, it was just like, I believe that I'm protected, or like, it was just, you here, let's see what it is, and you move how you move, and I'm gonna move how I move, and then we just gonna go with that. And there were times where I was like, okay, like, this is enough. I don't want to move like this no more with you. And then still, after that decision, I still had to, excuse me, complete the process. I still had to now go through and deconstruct the bond that I had already built with this expectation, right? Like, because at some point, even if I didn't have an expectation, when we started speaking and stuff started being said or whatever it was, like, I was like, oh, and then I still have my desires, and it's like, okay, you here, and I do want to be loved correctly, and I do want a family, and you got a lot of the right qualifications and parameters from what I can see where I'm sitting at, and I'm looking, and you got this going on, you got this going on. Okay, let me see how I can maneuver in your life. So I could do this, like, I just automatically do me, which is flow. I'm a Gemini. I flow. I'm freaking creative. I'm intelligent. Y'all ain't got the list of Geminis. Like, what? Tupac. I love Tupac. Like, hey, boo. Um, um, hey, you. Biggie. This is the whole list. Yeah, wait, Kanye is a Gemini, right? I'm pretty sure Kanye is a Gemini. I don't be remembering everybody's signs. That ain't really my thing. But I be seeing the list that go around too. But I knew Pac was a Gemini. It's Pac. Like, but we are magical, right? We magical. That's just what it is. Like, we tap into some shit that maybe everybody can't do differently, but everybody can be unique. Anywho, so then I got to go through, because I'm like, so this is where I thought we would be heading, even if it wasn't right now. Like, this is what I thought it would be. And then we done got to this place where I'm like, okay, that's not what it's gonna be, because I don't like whatever it is. Like, yeah, I don't want to do this no more. And then I still have to go through, because my mind and my heart definitely made that decision on whatever levels they made it, and I still have to now untangle myself from this, whatever I thought that this was going to be, deconstruct. And like I said, most of the stuff was when I was way younger, but it left the impact to me. And then even with, because I don't believe in, like, you're not here in my space. Like, when I used to get approached, it's like, or when I dated somebody, it's like, you're not here in my space just to fill a position. Like, you're here because I saw you. Like, I didn't know what that meant, and it could have meant, like, whatever I seen could have filled this role as the partner that I want, or whatever. But, like, let's see what that is, and then we'll go there. Like, let's see who you are, and then we'll see what that, if that's where we end up going. And then when I was younger, I've always made my wishes kind of known, I think, to some capacity. And when I was younger, it sounded a little different based on the culture and who I was then. And then as I evolved and grew, it sounded different, and it became different, and the embodiment was different. Like, but that's life. And yeah, so even though I said back then, like, I accepted that we weren't going to be together back then, and whatever I felt about you, like, I might be in your bed this year because shit, it ain't been held in a while and I want to be held, and I might want to be touched on, but I know I'm not gonna have sex with you. Like, but you can rub on me, you can make me feel good, and this is a safe space as far as I feel. Like, you gonna respect my boundaries. Either way, like, I feel like this is a safe environment for me to get what I want. And okay, like, that's cool. Thank you. Whether you got what you wanted or not, like, we agreed to this on some capacity. And since I'm here, I'm gonna take what I want. And then, cause you did, like, and whether or not it ended up being what you thought it would be or not, that's fine. Like, so I did have my moments where I was still like, I mean, we still cool. And just because I'm cool with somebody that I used to mess with didn't mean that they was always in my bed. Like, we was sharing beds, cause I like you as a person. Like, regardless of for me, it used to be like, despite what you did to that made me feel like you can't, like, I don't want you in this position anymore. That just means that you can't be this to me. Also, like, I can deal with you in this way because why not? Like, I still enjoyed you as a person. I enjoyed talking to you. I enjoyed spending time with you. Like, I still enjoy you. Me enjoying you doesn't have to mean that, like, we end up here or we end up here. It could just be, let's enjoy each other. Let's enjoy the space. Because since you right here, I'm just assuming that you enjoy me too. And so, all right, let's do that. Let's do that then. That works. And so that's kind of how I was with, like, a couple of the men that it was just after we broke off in this space, I still was able to be over here. Like, after we broke off in this space, well, after it broke off in this space for me, and we even broke off in this space, like, you are not prominent in my space anymore, but you still here. Like, I ain't got no beef. We ain't got no beef. It ain't no reason why we can't be cool and why we can't still spend time together and be cool. Cause I loved you as a person. It had nothing to do with what I thought you were gonna provide for me over here or whatever. It was just like, for me, you're here and I see you and we having fun anyway. And if our time together, cause before we get here, it got to be some shit happening here too, because you ain't like, I don't know. It's like, yes, I've made my desires clear. I desire partnership. I desire marriage. I desire you. I desire these things. And also, and I like you, and I love you, and I care about you, and I see you as my husband. I had a dream that, like, you could be my husband. Like, I was talking to God, and God said, yeah. And now that I'm, like, fully remembering that, nigga, I'm God. So I asked my higher self that's connected to this universe and everything seen and unseen, and I'm like, hey, all that stuff y'all seeing out there that I can't see right now is okay. So you told me that he was a potential husband. This was my husband. All right. Well, we gonna go with that. Like, somewhere up in the spiritual realm, we connected, and that can manifest down here in the physical. Well, let's see what's happening down here in the physical first, and then that's gonna catch up to that if it is. And I'm talking to you, and I'm just like, I think I might have said something about being in a committed relationship, and you moving, and you said you ain't want to do that, and you moving around, and you doing other stuff. Like, sometimes you here in my presence, sometimes you over there, and sometimes you do that shit so fast. I'm like, damn, let me write a letter and find out what the fuck happened. Let me put my emotions on paper. Let me put my confusion out here, and then also, just because I don't really know what just happened. And so then after a couple situations of that, and with different people and just different things happening. Cause I'm a writer, I'm always like, whoa, 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 that was unexpected. Don't cause I got something to say. And it wasn't about trying to get nobody back or nothing like that. It was just like, nah, whatever. I just got stuck with. I'ma have to write this down and send that shit back or whatever. I don't know. I don't really know how to describe that, but and in that moment, everything was real. Like, even if I couldn't understand it, if I couldn't express it, if I didn't know what the hell was happening, it just was what it was when it was until it wasn't. and if and if I said that, like, from what I see, you got potential to be a husband, whether that means that you have the potential to cover me, that you have the potential to bring me protection and safety, and like, all up here I can see all of this, and then let's see how, if this soul contract or whatever is bringing me over here at the spiritual and the physical and all of this, like, manifests over here. Like, are you gonna come here? Because at one point, I don't know what was going on. I was putting that shit all on social media, like, tagging people, this my husband or this my, or saying it. Like, I'm like, damn. Like, I ain't think they was attached to nobody. I did used to try to check as much as possible. Then I'm like, let me apologize to anybody if I fucked up some shit that you had going on by accident, because that wasn't my intent at all. Um, yeah, so I have had some adventures and some missteps in this thing called life, and romance and love and all of that stuff. And then so as I was saying, like, I think connections, for me, they don't always have to look a certain way, and then life has taught me to be cautious and aware, and, like, I want this. This is what I have a life that I desire, and I have a partner. I have a desire of a certain partnership, and, like, all of this other stuff, right? That's just what it is. And in this time, I desire you, and this is what we have going on here, and I can see you here in my physical as well. Like, I can see you in this position as well. It doesn't necessarily mean that because you're here, you're in that position. Like, how do we get you in that position? How do you come in and get in this position? That's the part, right? Like, how do I get you from there to here? At any level. Because not just from like, my online connection was one thing, but to me, it's no different than, like, the physical connections. Like, you don't just come into my life with just being over here, even if I'm telling you that's what I want and I see it with you. And I understand that men and women both view things differently. Like, I enjoy cooking, I enjoy feeding you, and, like, I'm attracted to you and I'm connected to, and whatever all of this is very genuine, is very real, and I'm not lying. I feel it all. I want to do all of these things, and I feel all of these things, and there's all of these things, and there's also, like, where's, like, why should you be here? Like, yes, I can pour into you and everything, and it doesn't really, it can just be that because I love you and I care about you, and I have, like, well, I have a deep affinity for you. I'm gonna stop using the word love, but I have a deep affinity for you, thanks to my nephew for giving me that word. And so I have a deep affinity for you, and this is how I would think I would like to see it transition. And also, for it to transition into there has to be some Like it got to be some stuff, because by the time I get to here signing contracts and shit, like I need to know that this is safe, that this is gonna be worth my time and effort and attention and energy and womb and all this other stuff, right? Like, so even if I'm over here and I'm comfortable giving you some sexual energy and physical attraction, and like I can do all of these things for you because it's you. Like, the energy is that energy despite anything else, if that makes sense. And I don't know why that feels to be so different and um so shocking. And then it's like, essentially, my online connection, well, I was about to say, essentially, that can go for any relationship, right? Like, at multiple times I've had multiple relationships, tons of relationships with multiple people, tons of people. And for me, it was what it was. Like, if I can maintain specific relationships, dynamics, period, then why can't I do the same thing in this dynamic? Like, why can't we have multiple contracts and multiple relationship dynamics and multiple, like, and it's not a negating the sacredness of anything, because it's all sacred. Like, who told you weren't sacred? Because I'm spending time with multiple people. Who told you weren't special? Who told you that you weren't worth my time and affection and attention? Because I have somebody over here. Like, as long as everybody is aware and it's honesty, and I don't know, because it feels like it's not a lot of honesty and a lot of stuff, and that doesn't sit well with me, like, in like the communication and all kind of stuff, right? And also, I'm going to go back to the online connection, but I think it's all tying it in together, like how I could do it for so long. Did I have a deep affinity for him? Absolutely. 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 Like, between, and you got to think this, it's all energetic. There's no physical exchange to tie it into. So for me, it's, I don't even want to just say safer, but it allows a different kind of connection and communication and honesty and transparency and like getting to know somebody, right? And throughout our dynamic, we had moments, many moments of like our first argument, our disagreements, our issue. Like, it was a whole relationship. It just was in the ethers, the spiritual realm. It just wasn't non-physical. And I knew, and I would always say, like, this is my husband. And in that moment, and he was my husband. Like I said, like, I can, well, I don't even know if I said he was my husband. I said I can see him as my husband. Like, we're going to be together. Whatever I was saying. I don't even know at this moment. Right? Like, I could see him being my husband. Whether that was just, he was just up there in the ethers and the spiritual, and he hadn't made it to the physical yet. Like, this is a connection. We're learning. We're like, whatever this is that you're providing me, you're covering me. You're providing me with something on my end. I don't know what it is for your end except for what you tell me. And that's dope. Like, I believe it, and okay, and then I'm asking questions and you're asking questions, and I'm telling you, like, we're both learning each other, whatever that looks like for the both of us on each level. And it's a safe environment to me. And we have phone calls, and I can tell you that I don't like that. I don't talk to you that much. Like I can, and then for me, because everything for me is always a lesson for me. So for me, as we're having these different exchanges, I'm like, I see this, I see that, I see that. Oh, okay, I don't like that. Oh, you did that. Like we've had this conversation. Like I can go ahead and see him, but then bring it back to me because that's what I'm gonna do. Like I'm going to learn something. I mean, what does Zelle say? What does Zelle say? I'm leaving out of here with something. Even if it's just a better me, even if it's just our contract has expired in this capacity at this point, like I've been saying for years, because it's time where I'm like, okay, I ain't doing that, or I'm not attracted. Like you lied, like it's just you lied about this, or I feel like you lied, or this or that, and I'm listening to what you say, and I'm telling you what I feel, and I'm listening to what you say, and I'm saying I don't understand this, or whatever. Like this, my like whatever this exchange is that's happening is genuine on my end, and I'm saying like this is what I see, and also like I understand that like I see you. I'm like only allowed to see you on like a higher level, like at a certain. I'm only allowed to see you in your highest state because that's what I asked, right? Like highest level of you operating in you in each season because that's what I asked. So when you saying stuff or when stuff is happening down here on this lower level, I'm like, hold on. So this is who this man is that I think he is. This is what I've been showing. But then you saying stuff down here, and I'm like, wait. That ain't aligning with this. So like, I don't really know because you trying to tell me that this ain't what it mean. But like, I'm also from the hood. Like I'm still me. So when I'm like, that's resonating a little differently. But I hear you, and then like you say what you say, and then I'm got a question. But it's cool for me because it's like mental gymnastics a little bit. Like we gonna figure this out, or we won't. But either way, like I'm leaving here with something. And since I always ask that everything be for my highest good, whatever happened here is gonna be for my highest good. And okay, and and also I shared some things with some very close friends of mine, and then also I'm gonna keep this connection real close and real private. Not because I'm hiding you. Nah, you're not a secret. It's not a secret. I know everybody got their own opinions and judgments and whatever based off their experience and all that. And that's cool. And you tell like whatever that is. I don't need to hear it. Like I heard it and I don't need nobody telling me nothing that I already think and I already feel. Like let me block out the noise and see what I'm supposed to be getting from here. Let me be authentic and pour into whatever this is. However I'm supposed to feel like I'm supposed to pour into it, and then let it be what it's going to be, right? Like, but I don't need to hear nobody else's opinions. I don't really need to see what anybody else see or say because it's not, most of the time it's most of the time it's not nothing that I feel like it's beneficial for me. Like you're not saying nothing new that I haven't already thought about myself. You haven't. Oh, excuse me. My little feet, my leg is. But you're not saying nothing new to me that I haven't already said. So like that I don't need nobody feeding my insecurities at this moment. Sidebar, right? Like I learned how to, so I really started smoking when I was abroad. And I was introduced to joints. And I never had to roll them until I did. And when I had to do it myself, I went on YouTube and 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 looked to see how to do it. And of course, I came across Wiz Khalifa's tutorial. So Wiz Khalifa taught me how to roll a joint through YouTube. Thanks, Wiz. But anywho, I was saying, like, I didn't need any insecurities get passed down to me, like, or judgment or doubt or anything. That's not why. Like, that's not why I am speaking to you. It's not why I am indulging and communicating with you at this time about anything. Hey, give me 1 second. I'm gonna turn up the music. I'm gonna take a quick break. Give me a second. I mean, not just hold on. Okay, my bad. My apologies. I'm back. So, even what was I saying? I was talking about the. Oh, I don't remember. Okay, so, but even whatever happens, like, and I don't think it's wrong. Like, I don't know, cause I'm like, I don't think it's. I never thought there was anything wrong. And I remember whatever I was talking about before, just whatever. But like now, cause I was thinking like, my feelings were genuine always. Like I really felt it, and it wasn't out of anything other than who you have shown me and told me that you are through this connection. Like this connection that I'm feeling with you is so powerful already. Like it started off good already, and then like it magnified and it's so fucking powerful that I'm connected to you on every level. Like, why would you not think that I felt the same?